Merhaba, good afternoon. I'm David Gourley, I'm from Leonardo in Edinburgh, in Scotland. I'm here with my colleagues from the UK, from Italy, and from Turkey, from our Leonardo Turkey. And I just want to speak to you for a few minutes about our self-protection capabilities for aircraft, because we believe we've got some really good, unique capabilities which will be interesting for Turkish industry and the strong industry that you have here in Turkey to make a collaboration together. Okay, so I'm going to cover who we are, just a quick reminder. I'm talking about aircraft protection, so we should talk about the threat. So I'll talk about how the threat is, and then I'm going to give you 3 insights into capabilities that we have in Leonardo which are prime for coming to Turkey for collaboration. So the first is Leonardo itself. Of course, we're a global company at Leonardo, but we're also really proud of our Turkish footprint. We have, in the top left screen here, you can see our Leonardo Turkey factory, and we've also had great collaborations over the years in programs. At the bottom you can see the T129 and Göktürk, for example. We've had some great collaborations, so we're a good partner to come here for aircraft protection. But it is aircraft protection that we're talking about, so it's really important to look at the threat environment, which is extremely challenging here in Turkey. I think in Turkey, you know the problem and the challenge of the threat better than anyone else due to your strategic situation and position in the world. So we see here the infrared threats, the manpads, shoulder-launched missiles. We also see the longer range radar missiles that are used and are a challenge to us. And in terms of just one message about the threat that I would like to make, and that is that the enemy, including the terrorists, they're becoming ever more sophisticated, okay? And I think the simplest example of that is in the top left here, the manpads attack. Our enemies are going to try to make the very best of their weapons, and they're going to target high-value assets, high-value people in the government and in the military. And when they do it, they're going to not fire 1 missile, they're going to fire 2 missiles or 3 missiles. Thankfully, at Leonardo, we have some great capabilities to help deal with multiple missile attacks. So that's why I'm going to give you the 3 insights now. So the very first insight is about detecting the threat. We've got to understand the threat is there and coming towards us. So this is the MIRE missile warning system. And MIRE stands for multi-aperture infrared. So it's an infrared warning system. What makes Leonardo so good at infrared warning is that we've been working, if you look to the top right, see if this laser pointer works, not quite. We've been working with infrared search and track for more than 2 decades. And we are on the Gripen and on the Typhoon infrared search and track. What that means is that we've been working on the science and the art of driving the false alarm rate down and increasing the probability of detection. This is what you need to do with a missile warning system. And of course, it is infrared, the missile warning system. Why is this important? A lot of people are using ultraviolet missile warning systems, but the infrared technology today gives you faster recognition of a threat, and it gives you longer range information on a threat. And of course, the enemy is now taking the rocket motors and giving them less of a heat signature. And so the better sensitivity gives you that long range even against the low signature weapons. But it's not just about missile warning. There are 3 main functions within the MIRE: missile warning, and the second one is hostile fire indication. What do I mean by that? I mean an indication in the cockpit of small arms being fired, so small bullets, the small caliber, being fired at the aircraft. Why is this important? Of course, if you're flying and people are shooting at you even with small weapons, you want to move away from the threat and be safe. But the mire can also pinpoint the threat so that you can deal with the threat. It can show the pilot exactly where it is, or it can be communicated to other weapons to stop the threat. So this is a good thing. And the final thing to say about mire is that it can provide spherical vision to the pilot in the cockpit. And there's an indication of it down in the bottom right-hand corner here, the type of pictures that he can see. You've all heard of forward-looking infrared. Well, this is all-round looking infrared. No matter where the pilot sees, he can see the infrared picture. This system has been 100% success on NATO trials in 2018 and is now in full rate production for multiple customers. It's a great start to detecting the threat, but once you've detected the threat, you need to defeat the threat. And I'm going to move on to my second insight, which is the MISIS DIRCM, Directed Infrared Countermeasures. What happens here is that the DIRCM points a high-energy laser at the missile and confuses it and stops it as it's coming to the aircraft. It does it very quickly and with a very high level of laser energy. Back in Edinburgh, where I come from, we know DIRCM very well. We've been doing it for 3 decades, and we've delivered over 3,000 DIRCM units to date, mostly to the United States, but we also export around the world. MISIS DIRCM is our latest generation of DIRCM, and I brought a model of the MISIS DIRCM here. This is the part that sits outside of the aircraft. Here, the rest is inside the aircraft. And I think it's important to note that this is a DIRCM for all platforms. What does that mean? It means that this is the smallest DIRCM in the world. It's half the size of any other DIRCM that can produce the same power. So this could go on a smallish helicopter, a small UAV potentially, even if it has a very high value mission to conduct. But crucially, this laser, which is the bottom third, this has enough energy to protect a Boeing 747. And there is no other DIRCM producer in the world can make a DIRCM this small to protect small and large aircraft. One DIRCM for all platforms. Obviously, we're very proud of it. I'm going to show you some videos of it now. On the slide there, it says it has unmatched speed and energy. So if a missile is coming to you, you need to go very quickly to point and lots of energy at the missile. So I'm just going to show you a quick video of the pointer. There is no camera trickery here. This is from a trial back in 2012. That's the speed, again. You can barely see it move. This was a trial with the UK Ministry of Defence back in 2012. So that tells you that although MISIS DIRCM is quite new on the streets, it's been in operational service for 3 years now. It is actually very mature technology. It's been around for 10 years in the development. And of course, we've done other trials, and MISIS DIRCM has seen over 200 live missile firings in its time. And next I have a declassified video of a missile being defeated by the MISIS DIRCM. I'll talk you through it as we go. So you can see the missile is being fired here. It's very slow motion. The whole video is only 2 seconds long in real time. The missile is 100 meters from the launch, and already it's taking a wrong turn. Already it's confused by the laser. Now, the tracking gets pretty poor here, but towards the end of the video, you'll see that the missile is actually pointing down at the ground. When it crashes, you'll then see where the target is. So watch carefully. The missile is now completely confused, pointing down at the ground. The missile threat is no longer. Let's wait for the camera to pan across and look to the top right-hand corner. This was where the target was for the missile. The missile has missed by many hundreds of meters, and in 2 seconds, it's gone. So we're really proud of Mises Durham and what it can do, and we think it's a great capability for Turkey. Another great capability for Turkey is our Bright Cloud, and this is my third insight today. The Bright Cloud defeats the radar-guided threat. It's the world's most advanced expendable decoy. So this device, I wish I had one to show you, but roughly it's about that size. It comes out of a normal chaff and flare dispenser. It uses the normal chaff and flare formats. And we have 3 formats. On the top right, you see the Bright Cloud 55 for the circular dispensers. Then underneath that, the Bright Cloud 218, which is for the dispensers like on the F-16 aircraft. The 55 and the 218, they are exactly the same capability. They deliver the same radar energy. We also have the 55T, and the T stands for transport. So this has even more energy, radar energy, to confuse missile systems when you're in a transport aircraft, which is a much bigger radar cross-section. So this is the reason for the 55T. And I hope that from the slide here, you can see that what we're doing is we're creating another target for the missile system, which is much bigger than the aircraft itself. And I think the next piece that I'm going to show will kind of show that a bit more clearly. Effectively, what you're doing is creating a ghost of your own aircraft for the missile to chase. Now, Bright Cloud is an operational service. The UK has used Bright Cloud over Syria on the Typhoon aircraft. And at the moment, it's undergoing a rigorous trial with the US Department of Defense for use on the F-16. So we're really hopeful that this will be a great thing for us. So in the end, I just wanted to give you 3 insights into unique capabilities that we've got to defeat and detect the threat, which we think can work with Turkish industry to create collaborations and create good business for all of us and good results. Because at the end of the day, what I'm talking about here, the ultimate result is saving lives and also giving Turkey freedom of action in the battle space, which is really important. The freedom to go and do and choose what you want to do in the difficult battle space that we face. And I think the third and last point to make there is that this can also help Turkish industry to export to your own customers, because all of these capabilities here are readily exportable, all ITAR free and readily exportable. So that's me, that's my 10 minutes. I hope that was informative for you. I think we're a great partner for self-protection in Turkey, and I would invite you to come to our stand, which is in Hall 2. You can see the Durham, you can see other capabilities that we do have that aren't even aircraft self-protection, and we'd love to see you. Thank you very much.